words. They don't just communicate thoughts. They reveal the hidden things in our hearts. They don't just communicate ideas. They create worlds. The mouth and the words we say are a creative force that is not only used all the time, but everywhere we go. Our words are the very essence of how the Creator made us. Join us as we discover the essence of man and the power of speech.
Hello, welcome to the Essence of Man and the Power of Speech. We are on day 101, and today we're going to talk about out of respect. Now, I'm going to read you something from the Talmud, okay? And it's Sanhedrin 11a, and here's what it says. It says, it happened once that Rabbi Gamel said, awaken 7 judges for me and have them come to the attic. The next morning, Rabbi Gamel awoke and found 8 judges in the attic. He declared, whoever ascended without permission should descend. Shemuel Hakatan arose and said, I am the one who ascended without permission. It was not really him who ascended without permission, but someone else. It was only because of the embarrassment that person would have suffered that Shemuel Hakatan made his admission. So in other words, you got a rabbi saying, I want 7 judges to meet me in the attic. 8 show up. One of the guys, or the rabbi says, whoever was not invited, supposed to be here, go away. So you had another guy who was invited, who decided to be that person, says, I wasn't invited. Was he telling a lie? Not necessarily, I guess. But the thing about it was, he would rather him be embarrassed than someone else be embarrassed. So out of respect, he took the heat. There are ways of dealing with rules of Shemarash Halashon and Lashon Hora, evil speech or holy speech and evil speech. And in doing this, there are preconditions, if you will, to where we don't cause anybody to be out of respect. The first one is the person from whom the information is being sought doesn't fabricate things or draw a conclusion or makes hurried conclusions or decisions, or he reads between the lines, so to speak. So in other words, when you're seeking information from somebody in order to do something, you have to make sure that, number one, this person is not a person who does things in fairness. He doesn't fabricate things. He's not known as a person who hurriedly judges people. He's not known as a person who kind of reads behavior, so to speak. He's not drawn to conclusion. He doesn't fabricate. He doesn't hurriedly make a decision. Why? Because all those things can be, well, fabrication is fabrication. He could be judging falsely based upon behavioral traits, or he could, if he makes decisions too quickly, then he could be judging people falsely, therefore speaking Lashon Hora. The second thing when getting information is, it's got to be from a person who's not known to exaggerate things. In other words, they don't constantly exaggerate events and the things that happen. I went fishing the other day and I caught a fish. Man, it was so big, we couldn't even get it in the boat. Well, you happen to know where they fish, and there's no whales or anything like that in the boat. Everything, you see what I'm saying? There's no exaggeration qualities in them. They let their yea be yea and their nay be nay. The third thing is, when seeking information, they won't speak out of malice toward the subject. In other words, When we know when somebody's speaking malice towards somebody, then they are speaking evil speech. So we don't want that to be an issue. And then the last thing is the information is necessary for constructive purposes, and no other reason but for we're trying to be constructive. Even if we're trying to help people, it is constructive. It's got to have a positive thing, to where we're seeking a positive result here. What can we do to help this person? How is this going to be a way to help this person? So the first thing is, again, we're showing respect. What we're doing is we're trying not to rebuke someone in a crazy way because they made a mistake. Sometimes we take the hit so they don't seek the embarrassment. Maybe it was an honest mistake on their part, and we just we'll take the hit, kind of like in the Sanhedrin thing. But when we're trying to seek information on somebody, when it's time to seek information on somebody, the people we seek it from has got to be, again, a person that is fair. They don't fabricate things. They don't draw to conclusions. They don't watch behaviors and make judgment on behaviors. They don't hurriedly make a decision. Number 2, they're not known to exaggerate things. Number 3, when seeking information, they won't speak out in malice. They're very fair, even if it's about the person they're having struggles with and seeking advice from. They're very fair about the situation. And lastly, the information is necessary for constructive purposes. In other words, I'm trying to solve a problem here. I'm trying to figure out how to resolve this type thing. Then we know this is areas of proper speech, not evil speech. Because how do you know how to solve something unless you talk about it? But there's ways to talk about it without it being evil. So that's the whole premise. And in doing so, the information that we are getting is not evil speech. It is done in a manner that is proper and honorable before the Lord. We're not just telling tales just to telling tales. We're not trying to slander somebody. We're trying to help the situation, and so on and so forth. So there are ways to deal with this, and these are some of the ways to deal with it. We're not trying to embarrass anybody by any means, way, shape, or form. So with that said, these are one of the guidelines in dealing with proper speech. Good to know. Yeah. Hey, we'll see you next time on The Essence of Man and the Power of Speech. Have a good one. Bye-bye.